Thank you. Thank you. I had to turn around because I have to lift my shirt up. Too many things to think about. So welcome again. I'm still Reverend Suzanne. And my talk today is about radical acceptance, which is a phrase from a book entitled Radical Acceptance, Embracing Your Life with the Heart of a Buddha by Tara Brach. The definition of radical, we hear this word a lot these days, don't we? The radical left, the radical right, the radical up, the radical down. Well, radical is affecting the far-reaching nature of something. Progressive and thorough is the dictionary. But when we think about radical acceptance, I think it's the willingness to experience ourselves and our lives as it is. And if we do that, it creates resilience. Radical, in the Christian world, there's actually a thing called radical hospitality. Did you know that? And it involves making people feel welcome through extraordinary effort and emphasis. And the Bible includes several passages that discuss radical hospitality. In Hebrews 13, it says, it reminds people not to neglect showing hospitality to strangers, as some may be angels, or even Christ in disguise. You know the Namaste greeting? And Carl Rogers said, the curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change. That's kind of a little, you gotta think about that one, huh? So let's affirm, I practice radical acceptance and my life is blessed.
I practice radical acceptance and my life is blessed.
Again, I practice radical acceptance and my life is blessed.
I practice radical acceptance and my life is blessed.
It's a sacred path, radical acceptance, because rather than striving for perfection, we discover how to love ourselves into wholeness, even when life gets messy. Has anybody ever had a messy life?
No.
Not you, I know. Have you ever felt unworthy or deficient? Not enough? Because most of us are so quick to turn against ourselves, and the teachings and practices of radical acceptance offer us a way to a forgiving, understanding heart. It rests on letting go of the illusion and we have to be in control, and a willingness to notice and accept things just as they are, without judging. Boy, that's a big one. In the class I'm teaching, one of our assignments was not to have any judgment for a week.
Oh my God.
But we can do what I call notice what I'm noticing. Just be aware of where you're going with your thinking. So the first step in any transformational experience is acceptance and surrender to the present moment, the way it is. This is it. And from that place, we have the awareness, humility, and power to change our perception and not push it away. Because perhaps the biggest tragedy of our lives is that freedom is possible. I did a whole talk on freedom on 4th of July. Yet we can go through life trapped in the same old patterns. Don't raise your hand. We can be on that mental merry-go-round. And don't we all want to love and accept other people without holding back, to feel authentic, to breathe in the beauty around us, to dance and to sing and to feel good? And yet, each day, we listen to those inner voices, that inner critic that keeps us small and limited and closed off. Take a breath. So when we clearly recognize what's happening inside of us, regardless of what we see, and we feel with an open, kind, and loving heart, that is radical acceptance. We don't have to like it or condone it. It is what it is. Byron Katie wrote a book years ago called Loving What Is. And there's a whole process, I know some of you have gone through her work, a whole process around that. Because if we're holding back from any part of our experience in life, if we shut our heart out to any part of who we are or what we feel, we're just fueling the fears and feelings of separation that sustain that trance of unworthiness. That's why we come to centers such as this, because through our conscious awareness, through me reminding you, you doing your reading, you doing your sacred work, you can dismantle the very foundations of that trance. And you have to do it a little bit, maybe at a time. And it takes work, doesn't it? I know all of you are working hard at it in your own way. Are you willing to continue the work?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Rumi, the great Persian poet, said, "The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in."
Yes.
Yes.
The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and welcome them in, invite them in. Don't push it away. Feel what you feel. We talk about this all the time. I mean, think about, what if you chose to see everything as a miracle, and that right where you are in your life, whatever's going on, is perfect? I know. There's nowhere to run to. There's nothing else to do except be in this moment and allow whatever's going on. But from a place of radical acceptance, change can happen. In the book study I'm teaching, Busting Loose, he gives this metaphor of the clouds and the sun that's so simple. So the sun's shining, all the time. But sometimes there's clouds covering the sun. Well, he refers to the clouds as limiting beliefs and restrictions in our life. So the clouds can be covering what's truly there, which is abundance, love, health, wholeness, blah, blah, blah. So the clouds are just covering what's really who you are as that infinite loving being of the divine. Whole, perfect, and complete. Right? The sun is always there. That energy is always there. God is always there. Even in the dark clouds. And again, I know sometimes we have to just let that be and not try to figure it all out. Our founder of Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes, said, "We cannot change the fact that whatever we put into mind will be reflected back to us." That's a law. You can't change that. But we can change that which is reflected. We can uproot the old, we can implant the new, and then we neutralize what is already there. So we have that power to change our thinking and change our life. We talk a lot about here, or I do, about taking a breath before reacting into something. Well, Tara Brach in her book talks about bullfighting. In bullfighting, there's an interesting parallel to the pause as a place of refuge and renewal. She said, "It is believed that in the midst of the fight, a bull can find his own particular area of safety in the arena. There he can reclaim his strength and power. And this inner place and state is called his querencia. As long as the bull remains enraged and reactive, the matador is in charge. Yet when the bull finds his querencia, he gathers his strength and loses his fear. And from the matador's perspective, at this point, the bull is truly dangerous, for he's tapped into his own power."
Wow.
Isn't that interesting? Just to be quiet and gather your power and strength. and learning to pause is the first step in practice of radical acceptance. A pause is a suspension of activity, a time of temporary disengagement from what's going on, where we no longer move towards something or push something away. And the pause can occur in almost any activity and can last for an instant, it can last for hours, it can last for the seasons of our life, that pause. It's a reconnect to Source, is how I think of it. So let's take a pause right now. This is called stop, and I've taught this before. S, stop whatever you're doing. T, take a deep breath. O, observe yourself as soul, as a point of radiant light. Breathe from that perspective. Now offer yourself kindness. And P, proceed into the day with simplicity, patience, and compassion. And smile. Right? That took probably under a minute. That's a good pause. That's a really good pause. That's sacred medicine pause. So cultivating self-compassion and acceptance are essential tools for navigating the challenges of life. By offering ourselves kindness and understanding, we create a nurturing environment for our personal growth. So ask yourself, what would it be like if I could accept my life as it is right now? And this moment as it is right now. Just think about that. Like, what would it be like? What if we can start experiencing our days not as a series of random incidents and accidents, but rather as divine appointments and encounters? That everything that shows up is divine, and it's giving you an opportunity to grow. I don't want to grow like that. Oh, I know that one. So we have to be willing to return to mindfulness again and again, right? It is gentle, it is self-accepting persistence that reaches our goal, if we think of it as a goal, rather than pushing, striving, and struggling. Because I don't know about you, but I don't think any of us are yet full-time enlightened. And have you ever had moments of forgetfulness? I mean, forgetting who you really are. I mean, we all have forgetfulness. Have you forgotten you're a spiritual being having a human experience? Yeah. So when you find yourself having lapsed again, perhaps for the 1000th time in a day, laugh and smile. Look at me. I'm angry again. Don't let it catch you in frustration and impatience. Remember, mindfulness is the willingness to be present with whatever's going on. That's radical acceptance. So you're angry. And this includes being willing to become aware of your forgetfulness and again and again and again return to mindfulness, return to the truth of who you are, return to your center, no matter what's going on. Relax. Use humor, smile, tune into the fun. I practice radical acceptance and my life is blessed. Let's say that again.
I practice radical acceptance and my life is blessed.
And did you know the muscles used to make a smile actually send a biochemical message to your nervous system that it is safe to relax in the fight and flight response? I told you that before. It also sends tonic chemicals to your body. I could use some tonic chemicals. I mean, think about it. You could go through a day and never smile. Remember Eckhart Tolle, he wrote a book called The Power of Now, another great classic book about present moment. He said, when challenges come, as they always do, make it a habit to go within at once and focus as much as you can on the inner energy field of your body. Attention is the key to transformation, and full attention also implies acceptance. Attention, he says, is like a beam of light, the focused power of your consciousness that transmutes everything into itself. You've probably heard the term metacognition, and that's basically what we practice here, is becoming more aware and conscious of our thinking and feeling states. Because when we do that, the less likely we're going to act unconsciously, and the more we're going to find satisfaction in our life. And it all begins with making a different choice. And Mitch talked about that last week, choice. So what are you going to choose? To be angry all the time? How's that working for you? How's that feeling in your body? Reverend Michael Beckwith says, when you take back your mind, you're no longer victimized by circumstances. You're under the umbrella of the qualities of the divine presence. When you take back your mind, you'll automatically love yourself and consequently design for yourself the kind of life you can really love. When you take back your mind, you will discover that you are an original blessing, and that this blessed state is who you really are. Yes, I experience fear, but I choose to practice love. Yes, I experience anger, but I choose to practice love. Yes, I experience hurt and confusion, but I practice love. I invite you to repeat after me. Yes, I experience fear.
Yes, I experience fear,
But I choose to practice love.
but I choose to practice love.
Take a breath. Yes, I experience anger.
Yes, I experience anger,
But I choose to practice love.
but I choose to practice love.
Yes, I experience hurt and confusion.
Yes, I experience hurt and confusion,
But I practice love.
but I choose to practice love.
Take a breath. We're human. We feel these things. And yet we can still practice love. That's the important thing. That's radical acceptance for me. Because as long as we're living a life, we're going to find negative and upsetting experiences on our journey. Just turn on the TV, right? So the purpose of spiritual living is not to live a life of untroubled, no issues. Wouldn't that be nice? But rather, as Dr. Martin Luther King suggested, the purpose of a spiritual life is to give us the faith needed to confront the challenges of everyday life. The faith. It takes faith right now. It takes courage to not fall apart sometimes, doesn't it? So where's your faith? So the good news is we can be in the woes of the world, the ain't it awful of the world, but we don't have to be of them. It is around us. But notice if you're sucked in. Because I truly believe this, we are all strong enough to experience our discomfort, others' discomfort, and even the world's discomfort, and still hold a loving heart. That's how powerful we are. That's how powerful each of you are. to hold that loving heart, no matter what it looks like outside or inside. And it takes courage and discipline to stay the course, right? Psalm 51 says, "Create in me a clean heart and renew a right spirit within me." What a beautiful affirmation that is. Create in me a clean heart and renew a right spirit within me. Because love in the face of fear takes strength. Love in response to anger is healing. And love in spite of hurt forgives. So what if, no matter what happens to your experience this week in your life, you choose to accept what it is and you practice love anyway? To return to your center and be guided into what is yours to do. Remember a few weeks ago I read Mother Teresa's "To do it anyway." To be kind anyway. To be forgiving anyway. When they push your buttons. Right? There's a wise Zen saying, you cannot stop birds from flying around your head, but you can prevent them from making nests in your hair. So let's let those birds just fly around. They don't have to land. And you know what to do if they do. Or call me or call a practitioner. We will help you remove that poop. That's a holy word. So I invite you this week and beyond to do a daily self-reflection and gratitude practice. I know some of you that have studied with me or been my clients, you keep a gratitude journal. I still do. I know, Joy, you were telling me the other day, I still do my gratitude journal. It's just noticing and acknowledging, taking a few moments every day of just anything that showed up in your life, and instead of being critical, you write down an opportunity that maybe that thing provided for you. And then at night, you write down whatever it is you're grateful for from that day. It cultivates, it plants seeds of generosity and gratitude. That's a great practice to do. Radical self-acceptance. Are you willing?
Yes.
Yeah, just to think about that. The willingness to experience ourselves and our lives as it is, and creating that resilience. So let's take that into prayer. I invite you to take a deep cleansing breath with me. And just relax in this perfect moment, knowing that whatever was spoken, whatever touched your heart, is a seed that is being planted to open your consciousness, your heart, to a greater good. And so I know and claim today that each of us is available to let go of the old, let go of what's not working, let go of the fear, whatever it is of upset, and to turn instead to that power that's within us that will lift us up, uphold us for any challenges that we have, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. That we relax in the moment, take that pause, connect to the presence, the God, the source, the creator, the beloved, whatever name you use, that we pause. We trust, we have faith that this too shall pass. And I am stronger than this. And so I'm knowing today that we each plant that seed, however it works for us, and that it is good and very good. So I'm grateful to hold and know this truth for each of you this week, and continuing on, and for this community as well. That we each open our hearts to loving each other, caring for each other, and being kind. Because that's what we do. We are kind. That's our human nature, kindness. So let's wear a little button this week. I am kind. An imaginary button. And as we do that, I know that it opens opens doors and possibilities to something greater, and then we express ourselves in a different way. We step into a situation in a different way. We relax, we let go, and we truly let God, let the divine take over. And we do our work. We stay present to whatever shows up with gratitude. And we just let it be. And join me in affirming. And so
So it is.